Gusto ko na ng blue, pangilan na tadyang ako. Isa, dalawa, tatlo, nasa mid-game na po. Bilang ako ng B, man ako ay upos lagi. Sipping ng blue bots, haging tolerami. Baby, sa wakas nagbing ng jungler namin. Ang blue mo daw ang sabi sa'kin. Sabay punta, nag-spam kami ng skill. And I need to tell you something. I really like blue. And I want you to give me blue. I know you want it too. I really like blue. And I want you, say away do, like a red fuck you. Oh, isang hit na lang at nasurog pa, napunta sa'yo. I really hate you. Sabi sorry, now it's smiley, sinadya mo yun. Hey guys, this is GS Riku. Don't forget to catch us at the Pro Gaming Series Summer Split every Saturday at 6 p.m. onwards, and the LOL Collegiate League Summer Term every Sunday at 4 p.m. Thanks for watching.
A Grand Skyfall onto Kazik. Siya ang primary target, but he is just standing.
Ooh, but a possible dash here. The ult from Oni lands onto Trey. TG in the backline right now, hammering down. This Dragon, ooh, the hook lands once again onto AJTY. The solar flare comes up. A teleport coming from Porosu. Wow, a two-man beach.
Na ginagawa ng mga ADR, okay, engagement.
Okay, so bakbakan by Sencho. There is the spell sheet from Exo. Who will flash?
Rock and roll to the world, guys, and welcome to the Pro Gaming Series 2015 Summer Split, brought to you by Smart Prepaid GameX and, of course, Tasca's Ridiculously Awesome. I am GS Asarai with an I, and, of course, alongside here with me is...
GS Amplifier.
Yes, and, of course, y'all know what time it is. It is PGS time.
Yes.
The matches are GameX War Gods versus MSKI in a best-of-2 series. And... back again to what we were saying, this is very important for you just watching or were watching a while ago. MSKI need this 2-0 to be able to get into that second place.
Yes.
So kicking War Gods off there and putting in third place. Pag nag-1-1 sila, it still wouldn't matter. But nag-2-0, of course, alam na natin, it won't matter at all.
Yeah, kasi yung 4 teams na ngayon na top 4, for sure, wala na matatanggal dyan. Pero basically, yung gagawin kasi is, if MSKI wins 2 games, so that's gonna be 3 points automatic. They'll take the lead over War Gods, and that's gonna be much easier for them pagdating sa playoffs during Rampage kasi less games for them.
Content style kasi yun eh. So, ang basics lang nun, kung nasa bottom 4, o kung nasa, kung top 4 team ka, yun ang Imperium Pro Team Blue, mas madaming kakalabanin mo. Kung top 3 ka, medyo onte. Kung top 2, onti lang. Kung top 1, isa lang kakalabanin.
Yes,
Parang ganun
exactly.
lang, guys.
So
Content style talaga siya.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get to the game in just a bit, but before that, we have a lot of announcements for you. Unang-una, ang very exciting match and win. So this one, you get the chance to win Spirit Guard Udyr. So
yes. But guys, hindi lang yung Tiger form niya. Meron din syempre yung other 3 forms. Kasi baka sipin nyo, Spirit Guard Udyr yan, tapos yung Tiger form lang. Di pag nag-ano siya, pag nag-turtle stance, pag nag-bear stance, at nag-phoenix stance, yung regular Udyr lang. Wow! Mga ganun stat. No guys, this is the Spirit Guard Udyr with the 4 summoner icons, with the banners as well. So enjoy if you get that. Please post that in the PGS Rift kung nakuha nyo. So at least pwede namin kayo i-congratulate as well as to show off in the next PGS.
Yes, so to glorify thyself. Next, we have the LOL Caravan. So for those of you who are looking for merchandise, you will be able to get them in Rampage 2015. That's happening August 22.
Yeah.
You don't need like a premium ticket for this as long as you're there.
And you have money to buy.
Yeah, and you have money as well to buy it.
So save up, guys. and buy those awesome hoodies.
Yes, actually, ako nga gusto rin bumili. And then, there's also going to be the clan booth. So if you guys want to be a part of the booths in Rampage 2015, just invite your clan members, set up a booth, and get your chance to win awesome skins, DJ Sona, Spirit Guard Udyr, and Pulsefire Ezreal.
And of course, guys, we have the Rampage tickets selling still ongoing. Buy your tickets now until supplies last. The information is there at www.lol.garena.ph/Rampage2015. And of course, after that, dun sa mga ticket sellers or ticket holders natin, we are giving away a free UFO Corki.
UFO Corki, yeah.
For all Rampage 2015 ticket holders, codes will be in your swag bags.
Yeah, so this is the free skin. I believe before we were able to avail of that right Nasus.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
Nasus.
so this time it's UFO Corki. So for everyone who buys a Rampage ticket, you guys get this. Make sure to get your tickets soon kasi sobrang lapit na. The Rampage August 22, 2015.
We also have a very, very beautiful na DJ.
Yes.
Nagkaroon siya ng parang sneak peek dun sa magiging cosplay niya sa Rampage.
Yes.
That is the DJ Zone, of course, guys.
Yeah.
Kung nakita niyo yung helmet niya, it actually has yung parang
volume levels.
yung volume
Yeah,
levels na tumataas. That's really cool.
Uh,
Alright, so guys, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You can get yourselves 3 more glorious
Premium tickets. to
Glorious
Rampage.
premium tickets.
Yes, yung mga nahanap dyan na medyo nawalan agad yung premium tickets, this is your chance. 3. There are 3. So first step, just like and share the Pro Gaming Series Facebook page. Post a photo of you watching the PGS 2015 Summer Split stream with your UID and IGN in the caption and use the hashtag GG Well Played Rampage 2015. Remember, we only have 2 weeks of 2 episodes left. It's today and next Saturday, so you have to do this
I'm just
immediately.
gonna clarify lang. Saan pala ipopost yung picture na yun?
Yeah, and then there's gonna be number 3. Make sure the post is public. Otherwise, it will not be counted as an entry. Number 4, wait as the Rampage committee judges the entries and then watch the PGS stream where we will announce the winners. I'm pretty sure we're announcing this one probably next Saturday.
Yes. Alright, so we'll just confirm na lang kasi baka magtaka kayo saan ba namin ipopost yan, sa wall namin or dun sa PGS Rift. So guys,
Yeah.
we'll get back to you onto that.
Yeah.
Next, we have the
LCL.
LOL Collegiate League. That's tomorrow, guys. Sunday, July 19th. So we have Class A, Class E, Class C, and Class D. Prepare yourselves, guys, kasi kahit Sunday may classes pa rin tayo, pero yung class na yun are more enjoyable to go into unless gusto nyo yung course nyo. So,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
so
that makes
yun.
sense, yeah.
Kung gusto nyo yung course nyo, salute to you guys.
Yeah, and the games are not just yung mga joke time the games. There are really amazing games playing out there. We've always said that na actually, parang yung LCL nga is in a way a form of a stepping stone towards PGS because there have been players that were picked up from LCL that were brought over to the PGS, and really it's just a really great time to spend the Sunday.
As well as yung LCL is more of, stepping stone to the PGS, but as well as a parang experimentation ground na kahit anything is possible.
Yeah. Like, I remember that one time we saw Brand bot lane.
Yeah,
That
just
really,
do it.
That really messed me up. But in a good way,
Yeah. Alright, so guys, we are now going into the ban and pick phase between GameX War Gods and MSKI Globe. Again, guys, be cautious, or rather, be just aware na ang MSKI need this 2-0. Kung hindi, it's not game over for them. It's just gonna be a little bit harder for them pag nagkaroon na tayo ng PGS playoffs at Rampage.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Right, we're entering the pick and ban phase. Ang magkaribal, actually, these two were the final 2 in the last split. They faced each other off, but War Gods ended up the champion. Let's see how things will go this time. And we'll see. Malay mo, War Gods and MSKI will be the final 2 again this split.
Since, guys, we are playing in the 5.13 patch, we might see that these 2 teams opt to go in for Devourer junglers.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Tam Kench, again, for those who don't know, is disabled usually for the first 2 weeks after their release, so we won't be seeing Tam Kench anytime soon. Probably in Rampage we will, but for now we won't be seeing any of that.
Alright, so the ban on the Poppy, Twisted Fate, and Sejuani. So they don't want to give Colette his comfort pick, or rather, just, Sejuani has fallen off in terms of her overall jungling.
Yeah.
But yung kanyang Glacial Present is still a potent fighting tool.
Yeah.
Ang problema na lang talaga is like, parang nagkaroon tayo ng curse na lahat ng nagse-Sejuani, ganito na lang ka-exe, dumadaples pa.
Okay.
Parang ganun yung yung feeling na, yung ganyan lang ka-exe, bilang whoosh yung SSD
passes
Sejuani.
right through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Poppy, Twisted Fate, Sejuani, all pretty much respect bans. Twisted Fate for Yume, he's been using that quite frequently a lot. Sejuani also for Colette, and then they grab the Rek'Sai first pick. which is really important because you took away Kulit Sejuani and then you take away his Rek'Sai.
Yes.
So now he's going to be left with a few champions
Oh,
left.
look at this. Oh, actually, I was looking. Akala ko si TG might go in for a top lane. Annie. Yung ginawa ni
Rise.
JLC sa GPL.
Yeah.
Top lane Annie.
Rise, Alistar, and Ezreal also banned out.
Oh.
So Ezreal, like we said, 5.13 is still very viable. So they're gonna ban that one away from Light because
Yes.
Light also used it frequently. Alistar, OP support, and Rise, he's still someone to ban even until now. The hypercare potential is still
Nandun pa rin kasi yung damage output eh.
Yeah.
Lalo na they changed him na hindi na siya yung lockdown Rise, but
Yeah.
his damage has been increased somewhat.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Annie also being locked in there
Oh.
immediately.
Please lock that in and have the Gentleman Nar. Kung hindi, I slap you silly kung hindi Gentleman Nar yan.
Alright, so now
I'm
we're
just kidding.
Now we're gonna be locked in. I guess we're not seeing Devourer here. So Gragas Rek'Sai, we might not be able to see the Devourer
Yeah. Kasi
enchantment for this
ang
one.
problem din kasi sa Devour upgrade is that it turns on a little bit later into the game.
Yep.
Eh, kasi ang meta natin yan is more of like controlling the game early on and getting yourselves these early objectives, early gold advantages, and then just snowball from that. Ang problema kasi sa Devour upgrade is that pag pumili ka ng isang Devourer jungler, you have to build your team around that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. And
You have peel, you have damage, and then you can just, turtle the game. Kunyari, you need to slow the pace. Yung meron kayong wave clear as well as counter-engage potential.
yeah, that's true. So, and these are pro teams we're seeing here. So, chances are kung mag-Devourer ka man, hindi ka papayagan mag-farm lang ng pro team na yun.
Yeah.
They'll probably invade your jungle. So, they are gonna lock in Nar and Janna there. Meanwhile, a hover over Thresh and Draven. So, EXO using Draven again. I think the last time we saw him was when they faced forgot which team, but that was definitely GPL. It wasn't that successful though, but MSKI is looking to go for it again here. And immediately we see, oh wait, all right,
Might be a mid lane Cogmos. Yung binalikan natin yung pinagsabi natin that a while ago na mages can opt in for the Rylai's, get more
Yeah.
slow, as well as that Archangel Staff for spam heavy champions. Though this might be a bottom lane ADR Kog'Maw though, but if
Urgot.
they actually go in for the Urgot,
Yeah, this time don't worry, that's not gonna be
yeah,
enabled.
that's just a flex pick, you know.
Yeah,
Sabi niya, oh, nandito si Tamken, so just hover it before matapos yung
timer,
channel.
just to
So,
shock them. Yeah, Tristana also being having a rise recently in a lot of regions. I mean, if you guys, I forgot which fight that was. It must have been NALCS TSM versus TL, where Tristana just she's really painful basically.
That's true, as well as her sieging potential.
Yeah.
Kasi when you guys are able to, you can actually put your explosive charge on the tower and your auto attacks. But even I think tama kayo. Pag kasama din yung Torre doon, na if you activate your Q, yung attack speed boost niya, it gets 1 second cooldown dun sa cooldown ng Q niya din.
Okay.
Pag inatake niya yung merong explosive charge.
It goes down, the cooldown.
Yeah, so you can get more auto attacks off,
yeah, that's true.
or you can get it's a faster cooldown. Then you can get more auto attacks off. But it looks like it's going to be a bottom lane ADR.
Yeah, so
Kog'Maw
Orianna and Tristana were locked in there by GameX Morgoths, and then Kog'Maw was locked in by EXO. We'll see if that's a bot lane or a mid lane, but it looks like it's going to be bot lane here. Kaigu's hovering over mostly mid laners like Jace and Victor.
Yeah.
Let's see who they lock in for mid.
Yeah. Problem though with this one from Yume.
It looks like there's pretty good poke though if they get the Jace
Yeah.
with
It's
Kog'Maw
gonna
and
be a
Jace.
siege type of composition, but they still have that form of engage with the flash anti-Tibber stun.
Yeah,
And
and the
then
Thresh too.
even the Gragas. So we do see some sieging potential as well as poke, even engage potential here for the MSKI lineup.
Yeah.
And looking at War Gods' composition, they have the sieging potential. That is definitely true with the Shyvana, but their wave clear is somewhat a little bit lackluster if they go behind against MSKI. But they do have the Howling Gale, even the ball from the Command Dissonance from Orianna here can clear waves pretty well though. Pero pag medyo malaki sila, they might just get like half of the wave.
Yeah.
Something that War Gods maybe are not thinking about. They're looking for like these Nar goes in with the ball, get that command shockwave. Pag nag-Mega Nar siya, Nar the people into a wall, and then just let Tristana in the backline, Buster shotting cannon flooding his opponents.
All right, so registration is now open for Watch and Win. The last champion has been locked in. Be sure to go over to the Pro Gaming Series fan page on Facebook and grab, or rather vote for the team you think will win this game. Will it be War Gods or will it be MSKI? Really intense fight right now. I can imagine the votes will be pretty almost even. So
Yes.
make sure to vote for your favorite team or the team you think will win and get a chance to be one of the 15 to win 150 RP brought in straight to your account within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I like this though from MSKI's duo bot lane. Kasi isipin mo, pag nabagsak ni EXO yung Void Ooze niya, he's giving Kaigu an easier time to land his
yeah,
death
the
sentence
hooks.
as well as Flay, na makaput siya sa range ng Flay and just Flay people back.
Yeah.
And yes, at a certain point, a Janna can actually stop yung pagpasok ni Thresh. Pero isipin mo na lang kung mali yung pagka-time niya ng kanyang Monsoon. But I'm just saying this na nagkamali lang tayo ng Monsoon.
Yeah.
Nga na death sentence niya and then nag-Monsoon agad bago pa ma-activate ni Kaigo yung death sentence. Pagka knock-up niya, mag-death sentence gap close si Kaigo, flay him back, and then EXO, a Kog'Maw deals so much damage if he can free hit.
Yeah,
Nandun
actually
na
that was my concern din looking at the team composition of MSKI is that they don't really the only frontliner here that's going to be fully frontline probably would be Gragas.
Yes.
And so I can imagine during a team fight baka mahirapan sila because looking at GameX War Gods comp, there's disengage with the Janna and you have two super tanky Gnar and Rek'Sai.
They actually even have the disengage as well as
Shockwave too.
Yeah, Shockwave. Kasi
Yeah.
some people, or rather, other people, other players, hindi nila minsan tinitignan kung nasa man yung bola ni
Yeah.
ni Shyvana tuloy.
Ni-
Na-miss ko talaga si Shyvana
Yeah,
kasi
yeah.
na-enjoy ko talaga
you
yung...
enjoyed Shyvana too much.
Yeah. Kasi hindi nila nakikita kung nasan man yung ball ni Orianna sometimes. And then, makikita mo lang, what? That's a 3-man
Yeah,
shockwave
yeah,
into
yeah.
the enemy team. And nakikita na, oh, wow. Is that gonna be...
Oh.
Light with a smite?
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be a
Runeglaive.
Runeglaive
Who-
God, stop! Runeglaive Orianna.
Let go of Shyvana, man. Just for
Let
this
it
game.
go.
Let it go. Let it go. But this is going to be pretty interesting. Someone shared a video on the PGS Rift of someone getting a pentakill with Orianna by grabbing Nashers and a Runeglaive. I'm not sure which one.
Power
Level.
Level.
There
Okay,
you go.
okay, okay.
So that was pretty... What? I was like, whoa. And that was pretty much in the Nexus as well. So that was pretty scary. We'll see how Light goes about this one.
Yeah, I think it's not too bad of a build since Sheen proc din naman ang Runeglaive and then
Yeah.
Orianna
Yeah.
has a passive auto attack
Are you
that
okay,
deals
man?
ability power. Why do I keep going back to that? I don't know. It's just in my mentality right now. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Please, pagpasensya niyo na ako. Orianna has a passive that deals AP
Percent?
damage,
Yeah.
and then it stacks up more
Yeah.
as long as she can get the
Yeah.
auto attack on the same target, and then Runeglaive does have a Sheen proc, so I think we should see a little bit of damage output coming
Yeah.
in from the Orianna.
I mean,
early
there's a
on.
little bit less burst with the whole shockwave combo thing, but I guess that's not really what Light was looking for.
Yeah.
He's probably also looking for some consistent damage together with Trist, and that will really help, I guess, especially since you have a Janna to reposition yourself.
Yeah. And yung, like you said nga, yung sa SS na lang talaga ni Orianna, the Shockwave is more of like catching people off guard or just,
Yep.
follow up from the engage of like a Rek'Sai or even the
Yeah.
Gnar at some point there.
Yeah, but basically, looking at MSKI's, I mean, that's an Annie Gragas, Jace, Kog'Maw, and Thresh. So I'm kind of I'm kind of scared for MSKI here. Like we said, they don't have a lot of frontliners to protect Kog'Maw here,
Yes.
other than the disengage coming in from Gragas. And so when there is a team fight, and there will definitely be because of this Gnar Rek'Sai shockwave thing going on, then I think EXO's gonna have a bit of a hard time. I think
Yeah.
MSKI wants to focus on making the picks with the Ani and the Thresh.
The Ani?
The Annie and the Thresh.
Nakita din ni Rick.
Yeah, and then yeah,
I'm so sorry, dude.
It's
Kasi
alright, it's
nagkaroon
alright.
tayo ng Teket. Ako saan hoodie.
Teket.
Oo.
Okay, yeah,
Yung kay
oo nga,
Rico,
yeah,
di ba?
yeah.
Teket.
Teket.
Teket selling.
Teket selling.
Eralia.
Yeah, so yeah, it looks like more focus on pick and ban on picks here. But
Yeah.
now we're in the Summoner's Rift. Welcome, guys, to Pro Gaming Series Week 9, 2015 Summer Season. This is going to be the battle between Wargons and MSKI.globe. This is the second to the last episode of the Pro Gaming Series. So on the blue side, that's JLC in the top lane with the Gnar, Ochi in the jungle with Rek'Sai, Light in the mid lane with Orianna, and for the dual lane, that's Efik and Stronger with Tristana and Janna.
And of course, in the red side, we have Mineski Globe. In the top lane, it's going to be TG in that Annie. In the jungle, it's going to be Colette with the Gragas. In the middle lane, it's going to be Yume with the Jace. And in the bottom lane duo, we have EXO for that Kog'Maw. And his support will be Kaigu in that Thresh.
All right, so let's see how things pan out in this early game. Will we be seeing a lane swap, do you think?
Looking into it, pag nag-opt na mag-lane swap ang Mineski or even War Gods here, they're just allowing kasi we're used to seeing pro teams go in or sometimes see pro teams going for a 4v1 push.
Yeah.
Tristana can get a lot of damage onto a tower. Tapos, and then kasi yung 4v1 situation na yun, typically a top laner would just leave his top lane and then
Duo jungle.
Duo jungle na lang, mag-buddy system na lang. Yes, you give out your top tier 1 at least you keep your safety.
Yeah.
So, pag nag-up na mag-swap lane, in my opinion, it's gonna go in favor of War Gods.
Yeah, that's true.
At all points
The
of their
sieging
game.
power.
The sieging power is just there. But, pag inap nila na mag-lane swap sila, they're on the blue team, they're giving away the first dragon to Mineski Globe if they go in for a 4v1 split push in the top lane.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so they're moving in now. Let's see if they decide to do any level 1 early invades. They were seeing a ping there over at the top side, so they might just anticipate a invade or a deep ward invasion there coming in from War Gods. But I think we're gonna see it's pretty much standard lanes here. Gonna put in some defensive wards. Let's see how this goes. So there's a ward there. No vision yet, so they haven't spotted out except for TG in the top lane.
I just really like this from Efik and actually pro players, yung mga champions that can actually go in for any skill level 1, you can actually opt in for either Q, W, or E. Most basically, that's going to be like you say a Tristana or a Thresh. Wag kayong kumuha agad ng skill, guys.
Yeah, that's actually
very important kasi sometimes, paano pag kinuha mo yung explosive charge mo sa Tristana and then nagkaroon sila ng level 1 invade tapos nag-flash ka nga, nag-flash naman sila pasunod sa'yo, nahuli ka pa.
Yeah.
What if hindi mo kinuha explosive charge mo, kinuha mo pala yung rocket jump mo kasi you were saving that one skill point. That means life and death for you as well as not giving your opponents the early game advantage. So guys, kung may champion kayo na gagamitin na can opt to go in for any of his skills, please hold off until magsimula ang game na kunin nyo yun because
you never know.
You'll never know.
A summoner has disconnected.
You have to be always prepared.
A summoner has
Alright, so we're seeing a bunch of recons here, but they are going to be reconnecting anyway. There's another pause there, but like we said, there isn't going to be any level 1 cheese here. They are going to resume the game immediately, and so we'll see how things go for this level 1, and though there aren't going to be any invades. So most likely we're going to see a pretty passive early game here coming in from the teams from both sides. Like we said, this is a pretty serious game right now, especially for Mineski, because if they get 2 wins, that's 3 points if they land second seed.
Yeah. War Gods here though, I think they're gonna feel a little bit more confidence kasi hindi na sa kanila masyado yung pressure.
Yeah, they're second seed already.
Yeah.
Just to remind you guys, it's IPT in first place, War Gods second place, and then Mineski third, and then IPT Blue fourth. That's why if Mineski gets 2 games, or if they get to win 2 games, they get to become second place over War Gods. So War Gods also can't relax here because if they lose to second place, that's 3 more games in playoffs, and that could hurt.
Yeah, it could hurt. Kasi mentally and physically taxing yun. I mean, you're playing in a booth, or rather, yung kasama kayo na maglalaro, and then tuloy-tuloy lang. And it's competitive. It's not just normal game na pwede kayo mag-troll or mag-chill-chill lang. You're giving it your all in each game, and then each game, you're just draining your percentage of like, kaya ko pa ba to? Kaya ko pa ba to?
That's true. The energy, the mental stress, and
parang sabi simula, kaya ko to. Tapos,
by your 12th game.
Tapos yung 12th game, parang nagbago na yung pagsabi mo, kaya ko to? Kaya ko to. Parang gumagano.
Nawawala yung energy. So actually, IPT Blue yung pinaka-hirap dito. They have to play a total of 12 games if they want to make it to first place. So it's really going to be hard for them. Unlike IPT, 3 games lang actually yung kailangan nila laro. And in fact, if they win the first 2, it's just 2 games. So they really can just relax here. But here we are. We finally resumed the game here. Let's see how things go. Pretty excited to see how the Runeglaive Oriana
goes. Will go out.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing this too much with our junglers right now, but yung nakikita ko kasi sometimes kung hindi mo naman kailangan kunin agad yung red zone and then you just need the blue to get your farm up, people will actually just opt in to go for the scuttler to just get vision as well as money and gold.
Yeah.
And this actually helps your laners as well kasi minsan dumadaan ng mga ang mga junglers sa scuttler para makuha din yung scuttler or you know just go to the jungle para or river para mag side gank sila.
Actually, Scuttle Control is really underrated. Like,
Yeah,
that's basically a free ward plus speed boost to the river.
Speed boost, health, reward. So that's 3 to 4 things that you can get from an early scuttler thing.
Wow, Light receiving a lot of damage there. He's gonna be forced to pop his first biscuit there. Putting down aggression, the death sentence lands here. Stronger getting a lot of damage down here. Peak is actually gonna jump in. Stronger getting a lot of damage. It's gonna be first blood. It goes over to EXO. That's gonna be an even exchange there, but the first blood again did go to EXO, so they do get the advantage here.
1 for 1. And looking into it, our jugglers here just opting to go finish their buffs and possibly going to the top lane for a gank. But look at this. Ashi in the mid lane, gonna go in onto Yume. Actually, no, he's gonna get the Scuttle Control again. So,
Wow,
or rather, first.
Yeah, so Ashi really putting down some Scuttle Control there. In the bottom lane earlier, Stronger burned both summoners. Oh wow, and the jump in here coming in from the peak, really aggressive there. The explosive charge is gonna come off, but it was a pretty even exchange there.
Actually, I think he took a bit more damage than he would have wanted.
Yeah, he
because-
jumped in.
And he got the creep aggro as well.
Yeah.
So that's something.
No death sentence is coming out yet. In terms of CS though, EXO's really ahead, so giving Swargoth's bot lane here. Be a little bit more careful. Aggression.
They're really using that Bio-Arcane Mirage to just, you know, outrange the Tristana early on. Because Tristana, once she gets level 18, does rather outscales or outranges any ADR.
Yeah.
Even Caitlyn.
Yeah, and so they're really just trying to defend this bot lane right now. The mid lane, things looking pretty good for Yume here. We saw him put down a lot of damage on the Lightning, so he is ahead just a little bit in CS. CG also a little bit ahead in CS, so in terms of laning phase, things looking pretty good.
Still, it's a bit too early to see who will win off this game. MSKI with a good start already, giving the first blood to EXO. So,
Yeah.
And we were talking a while ago as well na if you're an ADR like a Tristana, you typically want to get back into it. Okay.
Hey yo! Yeah, and
when you want to go back, you want to be able to at least buy yourself a EF sword, or at some point you can
Re-engage coming in for Achi. There's a lot of damage landing onto him. He does not flash. Saves that summoner so he doesn't have to go down.
Alright, so back to what I was saying. You typically just want to get.
Oh wait, they're gonna interrupt you again, Azurai. There's gonna be another death sentence onto Embiid, but he's choosing to jump forward. Who's gonna win this engage this time? Embiid flashes out. He's saved. Kaigu, will he get revenge? No, he will not, but the passive is gonna be enough. EXO takes Embiid down. It's a 1-for-1 again. Kaigu's gonna poke him a little bit more with his axe. Achi's here to help. Death sentence does not land. That's gonna be disengaged there.
Wow. Game Explorer God's a little bit too aggressive with that. Yes, they do get the kill onto EXO, but the problem was Stronger got the kill, and EXO got a double kill with the terrorist passive of Kogma there. You get the kill, I get the kill, revenge kill onto you. Look at that.
So
There's already 300 gold above as the Phage.
So that is going to be looking like a true force first build there. Interesting thing too to point out that Janna got the ancient point here, so they're going to be focusing on using the Talisman of Ascension active there, and maybe really put on a really good team fight.
Yeah, and actually this works well with the play style of what the Janna is all about. It's about kiting as well as this position for your opponent.
Yeah, that's true. And plus it fits Wargods so well. We know them to be that kind of team fighting team. We just really love the 5v5s, and so we'll expect some pretty good team fights in this game. And SK also doesn't back down in the fight as well, so
yeah,
this should be interesting, especially considering how, well, the small lead that EXO got does mean something.
I'll just give him a little bit more mobility. He did opt to go in for the Phage as well as the Boots of Speed, so he won't lack in terms of like being able to kite a little bit early on. As well, of course, giving himself a little bit of survivability with that HP and AD, giving him a little bit of damage. Whoa, okay, so...
Whoa, so things are really leaning towards War Gods here.
Yeah,
they
but
do
it-
have 64% vote.
But it isn't like what we saw with other teams, like 90%, like 10%, or 84% to 16%, something like that.
Not that big.
Yeah.
But it is a 60 to 30, so things looking like the fans of War Gods really being active here. Things leaning towards their side, but we'll still see how things will go because there is a 600 gold lead coming in for MSKI, and early game's looking pretty good for them, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Look at this though, TG opting to go in for a Sorcerer's Shoes here.
Oh, yeah.
So, MSKI really wants to just harass JLC out of lane, but JLC, look at the quick on the draw, builds himself a Hex Drinker. So it does counter out the magic penetration that TG was hoping to reveal against JLC. Possibly, you know, like bullying JLC out of top lane. But in my opinion, because of this build coming in from JLC, since Jace is a mid lane ADR, if JLC teleports in to respond for his teammates, Jace can actually deal a good amount of damage onto that Gnar, even though he was in Mega Gnar form. Didn't build any early game items for armor. So he's going in for a more lane survivability build against TG, but TG with that Sorcerer is able to kite around the fight and then
Ooh, wait,
deal
but
some
TG
damage.
gets so low. He's gonna be forced to flash out. Wow, that was a really good exchange there.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about as well how Gnar, if he's able to be not obstructed by creeps, is so devastating against Annie because, well, Annie is not a tanky champion.
That's
She
true.
doesn't have sustain. She doesn't have that Listen Protector to give her that HP as well as mana regen when she gets a level.
Yeah.
So TG will be forced to back away, but still flash burn from an Annie who, you know,
Yeah, true. Oh, wow, if he gets so low because of the ult snipes that are coming in from EXO, he won't be able to finish him off, but again, he's gonna be forced to back out. Summoner heal down there. Things looking really good right now from the FD spot lane.
yeah, I think you should have to call down Achi right now to help in that bottom
they need
lane.
jungle pressure down here.
Yeah, because right now I've only seen Achi farm himself up. He's only gonna get himself the Warriors enchantment, so we're not going to see a frontline Rek'Sai right now. We're going to see more of a team comp that would actually opt to go in for damage, for skirmishes rather than clashes.
Yeah, Collegiate getting a little bit low there, and Archer still trying to engage. He puts the knock up onto Yume, but that barrel roll is gonna make him move backwards. Things not looking good for War Gods early game. That's an 87 to 57 CS difference right now in the bot lane.
Yeah, I
so
really think that they should opt to say, hey Achi, I need some ganks here.
Yeah.
We're losing in terms of CS. We need
Pressure.
some pressure off.
Yeah, that's true. So let's see how the combo goes here for MSKI. Call for a bot lane engage. PG just removing the Vision Wire, but GLC's gonna scare him off. And like we said, it's like you said, Sorcerer shoots first. He's not that tanky, didn't go for the Catalyst first either, so GLC was able to force out the flash earlier, and
Yeah.
TG wasn't able to read it.
Yes, honestly, it got countered early on. I was just thinking na pag may creeps kasi and then he was able to put out his skills, TG could just harass a little bit out of JLC. And then I think because it's also the Sorcerer's Shoes, TG, kung harass niya si JLC out of the lane, he can immediately rotate to mid lane, but then JLC, well, like I've said a while ago, got a counter onto TG there. So a little bit of, let's say, mis-itemization coming in from the top lane of MSKI here.
That's true, and now Kaigu wants to land an engage, the death sentence does not go down, but they are prepping for Dragon TP is coming in, and JLC, his rage is building up, he's gonna go Mega Gnar pretty soon, he has the ult, he lands a two-man stun, and EXO looks like he might go down here, explosive charge is not enough, but Stronger is also getting very low, Yume's poke does not land, and now all 5 members of MSKI are here. How will War Gods respond? There goes that tornado, and now they're going to be engaging off. Achi's here to respond, but he's getting very low. The shockwave lands. It does not burst anyone down, but that's Light getting the kill as well. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. It looks like that's how it's going to end there.
Nicely done there from War Gods. I really like their synergy of spells. You saw that Stronger position his Howling Gale in the fact that it knocked up 2 or 3 people
Yeah.
from MSKI, and nakatakas pa nun si JLC, and MSKI were really, let's say, opting to go in for the kill on JLC. They didn't notice a lot that Light was coming into that bottom lane. Light got a 3-man shockwave.
Yeah, that's true, but meanwhile, another bot lane engage. The clear comes off, but This looks like Stronger saving a peek at the cost of his own life. And that's going to be another kill for EXO, already 3-1.
I really don't think that they don't respect the damage output that a Cogmo can do when he's able to free hit talaga.
Yeah, that's true.
Tristana doesn't get a lot of damage early on, as maybe if you can get a lot of a hit on that explosive charge and max out the charges that pag sumabog na siya, lots of damage. But in terms of like auto attacks, when Tristana doesn't have her Infinity Edge up, you're still a little bit of damage down.
Lack damage.
Lacking damage. Kasi malapit na matapos din ni EXO yung kanyang Trinity Force.
Yeah, and actually, that's true. Efik, every time he lands his explosive charge, he kind of forces the engage.
Yeah.
And so Stronger has to adopt for his over-aggressiveness. And it's actually really giving War Gods a hard time right now. Yeah,
It's being detrimental there for War Gods.
Yeah, the CS difference is almost 30 and the gold difference is like 1,100 now. So things looking pretty bad for bot lane here. Again, there hasn't been that much bot lane pressure so far from the jungler down there, and so hopefully Ochi tries to relieve that a little bit. Otherwise, EXO is going to keep getting the lead down here. And looks like comms is a bit questionable right now for MSKI. I mean, for War Gods.
There's a Trinity Force being finished from EXO, so at one point they do have the damage spike that they have for the ADR. And
Trinity Force is done.
Yeah, for EXO there. So they can force themselves a tower because, well, looking into MSKI, we did talk about the sieging potential that they have. So Kog'Maw, put down a Void Ooze, you can slow down people, force them out of the range of their turret to save, for people defending the turret. Spam out your priority barrage, you know, pull people out at a safe distance. Pag may pumasok man sa'yo, you have the safety of the Thresh, of the Gragas, and then the initiation potential of, well, those two as well as the Annie coming in from MSKI. So right now, wards for MSKI are being prepared for this Dragon side for GameX War Gods here. We see a little bit of defensive wardings for this Dragon. They don't want MSKI to get this Dragon, but if MSKI actually opts to go in for the Dragon and they commit 3 or 4 people to get this, I think War Gods should group up in mid, get themselves a mid-tier 1, and possibly just trade a tower for a Dragon. But it looks like they just want to get the steal. Look at Void Ooze just stopping Oshi in his tracks.
Yeah, so first Dragon's gonna go over to MSKI. Still things looking in their advantage this early game. Meanwhile, GLC just trying to put down damage in that top lane tower. See how things roll out from here. But yeah, MSKI's actually doing pretty well.
I actually like this. Pag ginamit mo yung command dissonance as well with the Root Glaive auto attack, you get yourself AoE, 2 AoE skills.
Yeah.
So you're able to clear waves a little bit faster. So I like that.
Yeah, Skirmisher Saber being grabbed there by Light. Things starting to roll a little bit now. Ooh, Efik gonna be forced to jump out there. Wanna go down. That sentence is pretty scary. Kaigo just gonna remove that vision ward and things. 3-4 on the kill score right now. It's only a little bit of a goal lead right now for MSKI.
Actually, look at this. All throughout the game, 100% kill participation here for EXO. So every single kill has been focused on this bottom lane.
Yeah.
And I kind of like this because, well, you don't want the Annie in top lane to... Yeah, you want her to get fed, but then her utility is always there for her team or for his team. So, you... who would you want? You want it to be EXO or Yume? So I think they want it for EXO because EXO, in my opinion, is a more aggressive player. Again, considering Yume is more of like a supportive type of champion, and Jace in his own right has some supportive skills with the acceleration gate, giving a little bit of defense for EXO as well as his teammates. And then, he's not actually losing his bottom lane against Light. He's just farming up safely. If Light pushes him back, he has the Shock Blast to clear the waves, even the To the Skies and the W of his melee form.
Yeah, that's true.
So
while the ability here of EXO to poke down is just really giving Efik a super hard time right now.
yeah, actually kahit man hindi na pinafocus yung bottom lane, wala, one gank pa lang ata nagagawa ni Colette. And then it's just been EXO and Kaigu knowing the synergy of their composition that they're winning out against Efik, and then it's Efik, like you said, over committing in the bottom lane.
Plus they have some pretty good vision. Earlier they had a ward in the jungle,
Yes.
the opposite jungle, so they were able to spot out whenever Ochi would rotate. Looking really good.
That is true, but here comes Glenn. Gonna do the combo onto a peek there. They get the catch onto him. One more auto attack. Nice play and box there. And he also boxed stronger, but he does flash away and he will survive. But his ADR does not. So goodbye. A peek there, and that might actually give them the boss year 1 for Mineski. Mineski, we were talking about they need to step up, and now they're stepping up against Wargods right now.
Yeah, things looking really good for Mineski right now. Really putting a lot of focus, but wow, GLC gonna engage on the TJ there using the ultimate 2v1 and flashing out. Ochi still goes down. And that's gonna be actually a 1-for-0 exchange in favor of TG.
That was it all. Alright, they're gonna go in onto Light here, and
yeah, wow.
didn't even need to use the Ignite. Just the Bubba there with the Gragas. So juicy Gragas, using his belly to secure the kill on the skinny Oriana there. Ano lang, yung sa top lane gank, or rather, yeah, top lane gank onto PG, miscommunication from Wargod, straight out. Kasi nakita mo nang bumabalik na si Ochi, and then
Bumalik si GLC.
hop in siya, used the ultimate, and then Ochi said, what's happening? And then he immediately tried to get a knock-up. Yes, they were dealing a good chunk of damage onto TG, but the problem was Ochi was a second or two late.
Yeah. There wasn't enough burst there.
Yeah. And then yung auto-attack nila ng turrets as well as the creeps ang nag-finish off kay Ochi. So, miscommunication in terms of Wargods right now.
Yeah, that's true. So things looking pretty good right now for Mineski. It's around 100 plus gold lead, and they have
1,000.
Oh yeah. Well, it's almost 2,000 gold lead right now coming in for Mineski.
And right now with the speed and their items there, they have the last, or rather, Brutalizer and Last Whisper almost coming up from Yume. Even though he only has the mana play, there's not enough wave clear in the world for Wargods to, well, counter out the siege, but the siege advantage for Mineski.
Yeah, that's true. And also since Light went for the whole Doomblade thing, his QW is not going to be as painful. So that is kind of put an entrance to wave clear. Still bot lane way in Mineski's advantage, and if he's having a hard time snowballing.
Yeah. And this is actually what we were talking about. The problem was, paano pag namatay ako tapos hindi ko nakuha ang 1,550 gold na yon?
Yeah,
Wala akong makukuhang BF sword. I have to go into the default pickaxe. That just lowers my effectiveness as an ADR. And look at this. Exo, I also forgot, Kog'Maw builds Trinity Force.
Yeah. So after this one, he's definitely going to go Blade of the King.
Yeah, that's just gonna give him...
Wow, an engage on the DLC. Sadly, the QE misses there for Yume, and they aren't able to burst him down, but that was a... Was that Tibbers or was that a Q?
I think that was a different... Oh, wait, no, it's just a Q.
It's still up. So it's just the Q. And they didn't force a flash there, so it's even. A lot of grouping up in the mid lane right now, and the poke coming in for Mineski is pretty scary.
Yeah. Looking into Wargod's composition, they really need to force an engage, but not a team fight. More of like a skirmish engage. Get themselves an instant pick off, back off, and just try to get control of the map. Because look at the vision coming in from Mineski. Control of the whole riverside. And there is no tunnels for Rek'Sai, the ultimate on in the back, in the deep jungle of Mineski. So, if ever na gusto ng Mineski mag-do ng play, they're certain na wala si Rek'Sai in the sidelines just waiting for a counter gang that might give Wargods an immediate numbers advantage.
Yeah, that's true. And so there's going to be another Dragon Dance here. A lot of vision for Mineski, but Wargods is going to be able to take some of these wards out. Problem is, there's too much vision for them to remove such a short amount of time. Mineski will catch up. Let's see if he doesn't have the timbers up right now.
Ooh, nice shock blast there.
Some shock blast. Wow, GLC is actually engaging, but everyone else is going over to the carries of Wargods. GLC's all alone with no one to follow up. So then sends his lance, and Yume, he's going to be able to finish him off. Meanwhile, if he's all alone, Exo flashes in for the kill, and now that's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange in their favor. PG misses the engage, but at this point, it's not really going to matter. They're going to get the dragon.
I like what Mineski did there. They caught Wargods a little bit off guard there kasi hindi na-leash out ng Wargods on Dragon. So they were a little bit clumped in that Dragon Pit. And then kung nakita mo si JLC, again, a little bit of miscommunication in my perspective there because he tried to do a 1v3 against the other members of Mineski. He got only the stun onto Kaigu. Tapos, and then yung War Gods was just zoned out by Colette, and then di nila nalalaman, or rather nakita nila si Exo na using the Fire Arcane Barrage. And then he was just poking out the members of War Gods. And War Gods can't do anything because they got stunned from Colette. Colette still had his ultimate there, and kung pumasok man sila kay Exo, he can just reposition the entire block of that War Gods team. And then JLC was just dried out, and
They killed him.
yeah, they killed him, sleeping with the fishes.
The better team fight here coming in from War Gods. Sadly, Light was not able to attack the ball with the shockwave. I think that's really sad.
Yeah, miscommunication.
Yeah,
in part of,
miscommunication. They
War
need better
Gods
team
there.
fights. In order to remove Exo, Exo was so healthy that whole fight, so War Gods need to catch up.
Wow,
in
I
terms
like
of
this
team fight.
War God, Mineski
Vision.
getting every single, or rather having the vision of where like if they could see a feat.
And I guess that's really a big part of how the bot lane advantage came in, because really Mineski's early game advantage helped Colette a lot to do more things around the
Look at
map.
this, TG building himself a Leandris. We were talking about Rumble players loving that Leandris change, but now it looks like
TG loved it too.
love it too. And Annie, even with the Annie there. Granted though, when Annie doesn't seem as a bad build because the Garena 30 plus 18 yung Leandris run. So it's a viable item kahit na wala kang slow. And actually, pwede sila magkaroon ng slow eh. Kasi meron slow ang Void Tools, meron slow ang Barrel Roll, even yung To the Skies and Face may slow.
Yeah.
Even yung the box. So kahit man walang slow item, CTG, he's able to get the other passive of Leandris Torment working for him.
Yeah, that's true. And so now GameX War Gods pushing in this middle outer turret. They are able to get it, not much of a test there. That's because the bot lane of Mineski was actually at top side.
Wow, Yume, he gets Buster shotted all the way to the enemy team, and he's going to be shut down there by Ochi. Now, though, that's going to be the bot lane catching up the engage on the Stronger, and the Shockwave is going to help him out, but Stronger's going to go down anyway. Who's going to win this team fight? Light taking a lot of damage. He's going to be forced to flash out. Bullet, he's going to try and make a play, but the lanterns out immediately. Will War Gods be able to take out the turret? No, they're going to back out.
That was a pretty hard engage there to do by War Gods, but they pull it off, and that is a 1-for-2 trade. Yes, they do lose Stronger there, but they got themselves Yume as well as TG, and that's what War Gods needs to do. They need to force these skirmishes, catch Mineski off guard, and pag nagkaroon na ng clash, just disengage. Huwag na kayong mag-overcommit, and that's what they do. Nung nakita na nandun si Exo, they try to do what they can, but they didn't overcommit. They just backed off and reaped the benefits of that play. That is a 2-for-1 exchange, so
they're favored.
yeah, it favors War Gods. But still, Mineski has a generously with that 2,000 still in their pockets. But right now, both of these teams have lost their outer turrets. But in terms of the warding vision game, it's actually just nag-expire pala. Pero a while ago, it was in favor of Mineski there.
Yeah, so things looking a little bit better for War Gods right now. They are going to clear vision now, which is about time. Now Mineski will have a little bit of a darker map at this point, but 2 dragons for their side, and things looking still good for both teams. Still anyone's game. And B, they're trying to make the big on Yume. He's going to jump in. The explosive charge. Will it be enough? Wow, yes it will. The ult comes off. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's going to be an engage, and the burst is too much for War Gods. Mineski takes out 2 kills of their own in that mid lane.
I think that's gonna sync up Mineski to start the Baron right now.
Oh wow, they can't take it. The Peaks really trying to rush this bot lane.
They're actually rush that bot.
Can't take it, but the Baron's also being rushed right now. There is... Well, there's a little bit of vision here coming in for War Gods. He knows it's coming. Ochi gonna try and make his steal there. Will he be able to get it? He's very low, and Kaigu goes to GLC. Gonna use the stuns. It doesn't really sound like too many people though. And that's gonna be Exo taking Nar down. Ochi comes in. He lands the smite too early. It's gonna go to Mineski rather. And that's gonna be a double kill for Exo. Plus the Baron. That's all in their favor.
I think I wanted to see JLC flash Nar ultimate kasi he Nar ultimated in a very bad position. He pushed a few people, but not stun. I think if he could have flashed a little bit in the face of the members of Mineski. He could have guarded them into the wall and possibly let the Baron do its job, and that is to just spit on the annoying summoners who try to kill and get that Baron run.
Yeah, that's true. So things looking even better now for Mineski.
Yeah.
Bad play. They're coming in from War Gods to
But-
put them in an even greater lead.
But you have to remember this as well, that with FP having himself an Infinity Edge and Blue buff, at the time that he got the kill onto Yume, he was able to get the bot tier 2 as well as the bot tier 3. So Mineski's bottom lane inhibitor is now open and up for grabs, but their dragon will go to Mineski. This will just give EXO so much more reposition advantage.
Yeah.
And then the Baron buff is still up for Mineski, so War Gods can't do anything right now. Possibly get themselves another skirmish, but Mineski already grouping up. They said, we've had enough of these 1v1 situations. You keep winning in the 1v1s, so we're just gonna force the clash. Your mid is now open to the Baron buff siege potential that Mineski has, and they will do that. All said and done, mid tier 2 goes down really fast.
Yeah, now Mineski's really pushing their advantage right now. It doesn't seem like War Gods has an answer, except for FB who's pushing up the top turret right now. Is it worth it? We'll see about that Baron buff really making this work on. And their inhibitor turret, and they're going to be engaged. Ochi, he's going to be taken down so quickly, and there's not much of an answer. TG does go down, though. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. FB finally backs out. He's going to try and help for the fight, but this turret's going down fast. The minions are making their work. The Baron buff teleporting this out. GLC's getting poked out by EXO and Yume. Will this turret go down? It's only so little left, and EXO finishes it off. Coolhead wants to fight, but Explosive Charge is going to do its work. Inhibitor is going to get very low. This is a very prolonged fight right now. Will they get the inhibitor? JLC uses the ult. He catches the people off guard. Coolhead and the other tank, their Kaigo gets very low. EXO though still very healthy. He wants to poke out the inhibitor turret. They are going to get it at the cost of one champion, and the Baron buff seeming to prove very worth it right now. Stronger wants to make a pick, but it doesn't seem like he'll get one.
I don't like this play coming in from War Gods there. They had the correct mindset, but the problem was Light already used his ultimate to try and counter engage when Audrey was getting focused on, and then when JLC went in, it wasn't a team effort. Nung pumasok siya, he just wanted to get his ultimate off again, and then yes, he got a stun, I think, onto Kaigo and Colette, yeah. But EXO was still up and running, and then walang follow-up shockwave, so
Yeah,
ito rin yung naging problema.
their team
kasi-
fights have been pretty shaky.
Yeah, shaky. And ito rin kasi yung problema ng War Gods eh. They're... Oh?
Oh my, EXO is gonna get kind of picked off here, but Achi doesn't have enough damage, and Achi looks to regret that one.
Yeah. And yung composition din kasi ng GameX War Gods, they really rely on good positioning on their ultimates, as well as syncing those ultimates to the ultimates of their teammates. If they're not able to do that, kasi may gold din na Mineski eh. Mineski have the damage, Mineski have the sieging, as well as the poking potential. So, yun talaga yung magiging problema ngayon ng War Gods.
Yeah.
But Mineski have themselves still a shining light. Hindi pa ganun kataas ang gold lead ng Mineski to be that super...
So War Gods still has hope, basically.
yeah, War Gods has hope pala. They can still opt to go in, though their composition isn't made for turtling. They can't let FP split push forever kasi he can't split push towers fast. But paano kung merong champion from Mineski or player from Mineski na mag-counter sa kanya? What will happen?
GLC's just hanging out there at the back. He doesn't have any rage though, so it's kind of awkward right now. Instead, he's gonna press B. Let's see if anything happens out here though. GLC's actually gonna engage, and Achi goes over into the middle of the fight. There's the ball delivery system, but it doesn't eliminate anyone. In fact, he goes down, and now most of War Gods are going out. There's gonna be the Monsoon to help save Achi, but he's gonna go down anyway. That's gonna be EXO and Yume getting a lot of the kills. Efik is forced to back out, and again and again and again. Mineski rises in these team fights. They're gonna get the objective, and things are not looking good for War
This
Gods.
is making War Gods, I think, wake up right now. It says, War Gods, wake up, or you'll be in third place,
Yeah.
and not us.
Yeah, really, Mineski looking to grab second seed in these series of matches as if he tries to defend right now. Bullet's getting a little bit low. Death timers though are coming up. It looks like they've been able to get to the Nexus turret. The peak gonna be forced to flash out there. It looks like they want to end the game. Exo's still very healthy, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. MSKI is going to grab the first game and bring themselves a little bit closer to the second seed for the playoffs of Rampage.
Knock, knock, knocking on second's door.
Yeah, so
Wow.
MSKI really playing a great game there. From beginning to end, they had the
Yes.
lead. There was no opening for War Gods to grab their own lead there. No swings at all, even with the Gnarled.
I think it just all came down to the miscommunication coming in from War Gods. They
Yeah.
had the right idea of their composition, but they weren't able to execute it into the fullest of its extent.
Yeah.
You can see Shockwave's put down by Light was in a good position, but then walang follow up.
Yeah.
He can get kills early on, but the problem was when MSKI was tanky enough, or rather Colette was tanky enough, he was the one to stop War Gods from crashing down onto the squishier targets of MSKI. Tapos, it was just JLC a little bit too spilling out of the range of his teammates. And he got, yes, he was in Mega Narform, yes, he's a bit tanky, but then against a Kog'Maw who can shred your HP, and then a Jace who has so much armor penetration already, what can you do?
Yeah, that's true. War Gods was not able to play their team comp correctly, and so they answer the consequences. MSKI gets a little bit closer to that second seed. We'll see. They do grab that 1 point. If they can
Wow.
secure the next game, they will be second seed. That's 3 possible less matches for them, and so they are a little bit happy right now. War Gods cannot be careless for the next game.
Just a little bit though, EXO has a 9-1-7, giving himself
Wow.
a more than, I think, 70 to 80% kill participation. So everything was focused into that bottom lane, or rather was made because EXO and Kaigo were able to
Really get the
outplay Epic and Stronger there. So guys, what do you think about that? I thought that was a pretty interesting game to start with. MSKI give themselves a 50-50 now against War Gods. And
Yeah.
War Gods need to slap themselves in the face and said, wake up guys, we need to do something about this. If we can get the 1-for-1, we still win this one for ourselves. If MSKI get the 2-0, we're gonna
seed.
have a hard time
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
Rampage.
All right, so stay right by. We're going to have a short break right now. We still have one more game between MSKI and War Gods, so do stand by for this match again. This is GS Amplifier,
And I'm GS Asteroid with an eye.
and we'll be having a short break. We'll be right back.